everyone. I know it's been a year since I did a last Flosstube video. So here I am. And this is going to be a WIP Parade for 2022. But I'm going to talk about other things in the beginning rather than making a separate video. I'll put a timestamp in the show notes down below. And then if you don't want to listen to the blah 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 before the WIP Parade, you can just click on the highlighted minutes and it'll take you to where I start the WIP Parade. As you can see, I did finish my Fable 2 guy, and I love him. I loved every stitch in this, and I was sad to see it be done. Even though I wanted him done, I was sad when it finished because I loved stitching on him. And I'll insert a better picture of the whole thing here because I can't do that when I'm at my desk. A quick life update. This year I've just been trying to keep my family healthy, and so far everybody has not gotten the COVID, which is good. And we've had other issues going on, but that's what you do when you have elderly parents. They're still around, which is good. And other issues going on this year, but everything is calm right now, so I'm happy about that and grateful about that. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. First I'll talk about, I have a couple diamond paintings that I'm going to be doing. So this diamond painting I ordered off of Amazon, and I know they don't look like they do in the pictures a lot of the times, unless they're a big image, because I did that one for BioShock that you all have seen hopefully, and I have a playlist there if you want to watch it. And pardon my voice, my allergies are kicking in today, so I'm a little croaky. Anyway, I saw this cute, I only have this little picture of it, this little cute snowman. And I have no idea if it's going to come out that way or not, but I just started it before Christmas. And so I only have part of this little corner done. And I have no idea if it'll be mushy or if it'll be nice and detailed. The canvas is only about, I'd say, 24 by 30 maybe. So we'll see if we'll see what that turns out to be. And then I had seen people talking about mystery diamond paintings, and I had gotten kind of burned out after I did the BioShock one because it was so big, and I had started another one using a Heaven and Earth design with these kitties, and I had started it, but it was so huge I just didn't feel like working on it anymore. It turned into a UFO, so I gave it away. I gave away the canvas, and I gave away the diamonds that go with it. I just lost interest in it. So I had a few other kits that I was given for Christmas presents last year, and I gave those away because they weren't calling to me either. So the only ones I have now are this snowman one and this one I got from Amazon. I was curious because I saw people talking about mystery diamond paintings where you don't know what the image is going to be until you do it because it's in black and white. And you can kind of tell areas of where color is, but you can't really tell what the image is. So I ordered this one. It's fairly small, so I'm not expecting great detail or anything, but I don't know if you can see it's square diamonds, and they're all in black and white. It seems fairly well printed. I know a lot of these companies are kind of dodgy sometimes, so it's hard to tell what you're going to get. But I thought it was $15, and I thought, I'll take the chance that it's something. So I'm hoping it's something I like. But what I was concerned about is that I'm not a pink person, and I mean, a little bit of pink is fine, but I'm not overall a pink person. I'm a blue-green person. So I was happy to see, I'm sorry for the crinkling, but I didn't want to take them all out because they'll just go all over the place. But I was happy to see that most of the colors are greens and blues. And they don't tell you what the kits are or anything because it's a mystery, of course. So I was happy to see that. They're greens and blues. So I'm going to be curious to know what this image is going to be, and it'll probably take me forever, but that's part of the fun of it, right? And they also gave me, like most of these kits do, they gave me a little tray. I use a bigger tray though, and a pin, and the key, I guess. Yeah, this is the key. And it doesn't look like, oh, they are DMC numbers, so. And then I've never seen this before, this little plastic macaroon. And they put the glue stuff in the little macaroon. I'd never seen that before. But I haven't really kept up on what is trending in diamond painting because I know over the last couple of years it's just exploded, and they have so many new gadgets and stuff, and I haven't really kept up with that. When I did the BioShock one, there really wasn't that much information. There were a few videos, and so I kind of saw the video. That's where I first realized that there was diamond painting, is I saw somebody's video, and then and at the time there weren't many kits, so that's why I made my own with the BioShock, and I made the pattern and everything. So anyway, so this will be interesting. I just thought it'd be something different to do a mystery one. And if anybody wants to know where, you know, exactly what I got, I can let me know in the comments, and I'll give you the link to the Amazon thing. I'm not an Amazon affiliate or anything like that. For my birthday last April, I was given the Nintendo Switch, and with Animal Crossing, and so I kind of got into that. I still cross-stitched this last year, but not as much as I would have liked. I kind of lost my stitchy bug on and off during the year. I did do WIPCO, that's with Jessie Marie, up until about October, and then I fell off the wagon. I did fulfill my goals for WIPGO for each month up until October, and I am starting it over this year, and I'll show those WIPs when I come to them in my WIP Parade. I also did a few puzzles. I'll put some pictures here. Sometimes I don't feel like stitching, and I don't, because if I have to concentrate, and so I'll work on a puzzle. And I made a few cards. I worked on some cross-stitch fabric storage. I was trying to figure out a way to do it because I just had them all piled up in my cabinet, and I didn't like doing that. I didn't like the way they looked, and I didn't like not being able to see everything. So I poked around YouTube and I found quilting ladies were using these boards as like a bolt. These are comic book boards. They're 6 3/4 by 10 1/2. If you want to know which ones I got, they're like a little heavier than I'd say shirt cardboard. So what I did was I followed how they did it, and they just folded their fabric onto these boards, and then I did the same thing, and then I put a little tag saying how big it was and what it was. This one is cobblestone Lugana, 32 count, 18 by 18, and then I use these little plastic clips. You could use other kinds of clips. You don't have to use the plastic clips, but I like it because it's a nice size, and also it fits, but it fits one of those little square 12 by 12 cubicle boxes. So you can see I'm not done, but I've done a few of them. And I just folded them in so they fit around the cardboard. And it kind of makes it easy to see on the edges when they're all lined up. And, you know, you could put them in any order if you wanted to put them by count size or color or, you know, the size of the fabric. Anyway, so I thought that was a really good idea. And I'm not done with that project because I have so many. My finishes, I only had a couple. One of them was Fable because that was my main goal, is to get that finished. I made this little address book for my sister for her birthday in August. And the book itself, I only have a picture of it because I gave it to her. You insert something into the front cover, whether it's a picture or whatever. I backed the cross stitch with a little piece of cardboard and then inserted it, and it has like a plastic cover on top so to protect the stitches. And this was a dimensions kit. And then another thing was this little cat pillow that I made for my other sister. This is made out of one of her husband's shirts. She was widowed and she was cutting up his shirt to use for something else. And she had these little scraps, so I took the scraps and made this little cat and put his name on it, and she really loves it. It just has a lot of sentimental value for her. Sorry if you can hear outside. The neighbors on all sides of me have decided this is the good time of year to start remodeling their houses or whatever they're doing, cutting down trees and stuff, and I could never find a good time when there's no noise going on. So I'm sorry if you can hear that. For Christmas, I got this little cat kit. It was dimensions. It says it's a learn a craft. Now, I've worked on it a little bit, and I'll show you here. I've worked on the top of the head a little bit. And to me, this would not be a good beginner kit. It's got, I don't know, it's just for somebody that's never cross-stitched before. I didn't feel the instructions were that clear on how you start and everything. And I just think it's too much for a beginner. But I just thought it was cute. So I'm working on that. And then my sister got me this one. This is DMC Snowshoe. And this is a companion piece to the one I already did. And I'll show you here the one that's the tabby. And they do have one or two other ones, but I didn't really care for them. I think one is a white cat. And that one didn't appeal to me as much. But I remember I did enjoy stitching the other one with the tabby. I'm also going to be doing a little show of projects that are kitted but not started that I want to start at some point. So I'm going to do those at the end. So now I'm going to do the WIP Parade, and you'll probably see a lot of cuts because I don't want to take up your time showing you nothing and hearing a lot of crinkling of the bag. So here we go. This is probably 5 years old, and this is my cheater one, I call it. It's when they first came out of China with these kits where you stitch on where it's colored, and then you wash, and then at the end you wash it and it washes out. And this is one I just kind of keep on hand if I am in low light. It's a travel piece, so I can just grab it and I don't have to think too much about it. So this is what I was talking about, that it's that kind where you stitch over the colors, whatever the symbols are and everything. The numbers correlate to the little squares, and then when you're done you wash it out. So I've worked on, it's hard to tell, I worked on this black area, and I worked on a lot of the white. I don't know why I picked white first, but so it's kind of hard to tell. But this is just what I keep on hand if I'm out somewhere and there isn't a lot of light, because it's a lot easier to see. I think it's 11 count, and it's a lot easier to see. And you don't have to constantly be looking at the chart, because you know that, like all these pink ones, you know that the same color is going to be for all those pink ones. So it's kind of a cheater kind of kit. This one is on a huge piece of fabric, so I won't show it all to you. But this is Pandemic, and I'll show you a picture here. It's by Lawn Dog Sampler, and it was started, of course, with the pandemic, and she released the pattern. I think it had a different name, but she released it because she knew people would want something to do while they were home a lot. So I started this one. It's going to be made with all 4515 variegated, and you can see that's how far I've gotten. I kept trying to decide, do I want to keep this as a UFO? I don't know if I want to keep it as a UFO. Or if I'm bored with it already. Oh, and I am also using two other colors, 930 and 936, for some of the motifs, like the bird here. And there's little animals and stuff. But I was trying to debate whether I wanted to keep this one or if I just didn't feel like doing it anymore. And I was thinking about it yesterday, and I think I'm going to keep it, and I'll work on it a few more times, and if I'm too bored, then I'll probably pass it along. But I do like it. I guess everything else has taken precedence or something. And if you've followed my channel for a while, you know this is Victorian charm that I've had for a long time. I did get some progress down here where the little cat is. I did get some progress, and I think this was a WIP Go, and I think I worked from here, about here down, so I did all this area for WIP Go. It's not on my list this year to do it for WIP Go, but I'm hoping to get at least a few stitches in. This one is Love Grows. It's a very old Just Nan sampler, and I can't find the fabric part of it, so you'll just have to trust me. And it's really old, and I should just do it. It's not that big, and it's got some beads on it. I haven't gotten to the bead part yet, but the beads came with it. This is Dimensions Mason Jar Lineup. I really like it, and I really think it's pretty, and I want to get it done, but I'm not enjoying stitching on it. I swapped the fabric out for even weave instead of the Ada cloth. It's Dimensions Kit and Mason Jar Lineup, but when I go to work on it, I'm not really enjoying it very much. And I have to decide, it was a gift, and so I have to decide if it's going to be a UFO or it's just going to be a WIP, or maybe I'll get inspired, because I have occasionally changed my mind on things that I decide are UFOs. So I'm going to keep it for a little while longer, and if I decide it's just not fun for me, I'm going to give it away. This one I've shown before. It's this beaded elephant. I haven't done very much. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but you just bead it over the color. And I did some here. And haven't gotten very far. But this one kind of just sits on my desk, and then when I have a few minutes and I'm just sitting here, I'll pull it out and put a few beads on. This is Dimensions Gold Collection Petites Stacked Teacups. Really cute. And I just have a little bit of that middle cup done. And here we have Rapture. And I'm going to show you a picture of it because right now it's actually, I moved the snaps and so you can't see the image. Now Rapture, if I can find a picture of the old one, I'll put it in here. Now Rapture is artwork that I got permission to convert to a cross stitch pattern for, and it is, Rapture is the city in BioShock, and I loved that it's in sort of silhouette and it's in blues. And I started this, and I probably talked about it in my last Flosstube video. I started it on 18 count, 4 threads, and with tent stitch. And I measured wrong, or I had it oriented the wrong way or something, because I realized as I was working on it that I started at the bottom, and I realized that I was not going to have enough room to get to the edge. And I thought about, well, I could crop at this, but then that would cut out the woman's arm, and I didn't think it would look right. So I decided, and I got this whole section done, like almost all the way across, and almost the height of the letters, because I wanted to see how it would look. So that's why I was working on that. And then I realized I was going to have to cut off the edges, and I didn't want to do that. So I decided to restart it, and this is what my restart looks like. And I did count over to make sure I added extra fabric when I redid it. It's still 18 count, 4/1 tent. I also regenerated the pattern because I noticed that it looked very dark. Like you couldn't see the, and I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there's subtle shading here behind the letters. And as I was stitching it, it was coming out pretty dark, so the background looked like all one color instead of the gradation from the dark to the light. So I'm kind of glad I had to start it over anyway, because I think I wouldn't have been happy with it being so dark. I have noticed when I've converted these patterns, they do come out a little dark. So I'm going to have to remember to make the photo lighter, even if I think it looks like it's too light, before I generate the pattern. I did work on Santa's Village this year, and I'll put a picture in so you can see the whole thing. I worked on the top row. I only have 4 left, and I worked on Santa's house last week or so. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted the picture there, and I still like it. It does get a little tedious when you have to do the backgrounds of the houses and stuff, but it's all right. So this one's still chugging along. This was a new start a couple months ago. It's a Riolis. It's a Riolis kit, and I believe it's called, what's it called? Well, it's in Russian, but I think they called it Egyptian cats or something. Anyway, I was going to do this for my sister for either her birthday or Christmas, but I didn't finish it. And I don't think she watches my videos, so I think I'm safe. So I got most of one cat done. And this is on a very high count. It's 10 count, which feels weird to work on it. I don't know, but it does go faster. And the detail is still very good. So I just got, you know, not even the whole cat finished. So I did work a little bit, not much, a little bit on my dark shadows. It's hard to show you what it's going to look like because I only have, this was a pattern that I created myself, and I took several images from old advertisements for the show Dark Shadows. This is based on the show, not the modern movie. And so this is the only little printout I have to show you what it's going to look like. But I did work on it during Dark October stitching and Dark 13 stitching, which is the 13th of the month you stitch on something dark, whether literally or figuratively. I think this is on, I can never remember. I think it's on 32 count maybe? I'm not sure. I forgot. It's very stretchy though, so I have to make sure when I block it that I block it really well because it's very stretchy and it could easily get out of alignment. But anyway, and I'm using Anchor Black for coverage instead of DMC. This one I've had for years. It's in from an old cross stitch magazine, but it's actually more embroidery, and it's this gold butterfly, and I've always liked it. It's all done in metallics, but I'm not using DMC metallics because DMC metallics are the pubic hair of Satan. So I'm using Krynic and Petite Treasure Braid. This one I thought I'd get done this year, but sorry, the light has decided now to come in and it never does that, so I'm sorry. This is Joan Elliott's bunnies that she offered on her Facebook site. I don't know if you can get it through her website, I'm not sure, but it's on her Facebook. She gave it to us as freebies, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's got some pretty beading on it and stuff. Now I thought I'd get this one done last year. It's not very big. It's Bunny Biscorner, that's what it's called. And this is the front side of it. But I took this as a project for travel, like waiting for appointments, things like that. And I didn't realize at the time that I had turned it. So the stitches on one bunny goes one way and the stitches on the other bunny goes a different way because I had turned it without thinking about it. So I have to really sit down with it and decide if I want to frog it or if I'm just going to do that for the other two and that go in the other corners and make it seem like it was supposed to be that way all along. Because technically you're supposed to have all your stitches go the same direction, but I don't think the stitch police will come and get me. This is another one that should have been done a long time ago. I've had this little kit for years. It's a Sweetheart Tree, B is for Bunny, and it comes with the little beads and charms and stuff. And I just put it away. Now, it calls for whisper thread, and I pulled it all out because apparently moths got to it because it's wool whisper thread. It's made to make the bunnies, you know, to make the bunnies look fuzzy. So it's this one right here. It's kind of hard to see. And it makes them fuzzy. But I noticed that when I went to take it out, and I used to just keep them like in a bag or something, and I noticed that all of the wool had been chewed up So obviously moths got to it or something. So I'm going to have to decide if I want to use that whisper to, and I frogged it all out. So I have to decide if I want to use that whisper thread again or just use like white or something to finish it. And then we have my Mirabilia Stargazer that's been finished now for 2 years, except for the beading. I keep putting it off and putting it off because it's hard for me to see where I'm supposed to go on the chart with the beading. And I'll show you a little bit of the chart. And it's not the chart's fault. I mean, you could see see the lines, that's where the beading goes. It's not the chart's fault, it's just that this fabric isn't gridded, and I guess I could go back and take the time to grid it all, but I'm lazy. And so you probably cannot see, well, you can see a little bit where it's going right here. And I've just been putting off doing it because it's just hard for me to figure out where the beads should go. So I might take a friction pin and lightly draw the line, and then when I'm done, just iron it out, and hopefully the line will stay away. But she is beautiful, and I do love her. It's just, you can see the rest of it. But it's the beading around her head that has been putting me off of actually finishing it. And then Gold Collection Dimensions Kit, Rocky Point. This was for my dad. And I got quite a bit of ways, and then I kind of got bored with it, so I stopped. I think this is on 18 count. It's like an ivory fabric. So this is how far I got. Most of the top except over on this side here, and working down into the rocks. It's really nice, it's just I got tired of it, so I put it away. This one is my Prairie Schooler, a Prairie Year 1 and 2. I have both, and I'm combining them because I like some of these and I like some of these, so I'm going to put them together and you know, swap out the ones I'm not crazy about. This is just on, I think this is 18 count. It's just some unknown tan colored Ada. And from the Gone with the Wind collection, I had made my sister the same, it's in the same series, but it's her in the green dress, in the green velvet dress. But I wanted to make this one for me because I always liked that summer dress that she wore with the green flowers and everything. But I haven't gotten very far. And this is on 28 count even weave. And it has beads too. And this is all I have so far. It's just this tiny little amount. This is a Nora Corbett that or Corbet, however you want to say it, that I'm combining the patterns because I'll put up pictures here. I'm combining the Miss Goth Swallowtail with the top part, and then the legs I'm going to do Miss Colombian Nymphet, whatever it is, because I prefer the legs on the other one. So I'm combining those two together. And right now all I have is this part of the butterfly wings, and this is the body. And this is on, I think it's 32 count. I'm not sure what fabric it is. The next one is for the Prairie Schooler Alphabet series. This is just the Y and Z. But I just want to show you what the pattern basically looks like. And I'm doing it all on one piece of fabric. And I did finish, I think I finished. For WIP Co, I did finish one motif. N is for nest. So I did finish one. And I like it a lot. It came out, I think it came out cute. This is Moon Hair. And this one, I originally started it. It was in one of the British magazines. And even though it was charted for Heaven and Earth Designs, once Pattern Keeper came into being, and if you don't know what Pattern Keeper is, I'll put a link down below. I knew I wanted to use that instead of using a paper chart on it. So I went ahead and bought it again from Heaven and Earth Designs as a PDF so I could use Pattern Keeper. And a few of the colors did change in it and the symbols. So since I hadn't gotten very far though on it, I only have this part of the bunny done. I thought, well, I'm not too far ahead, so I went ahead and bought the other pattern and then had to swap out DMC and everything. So this one I really like too. And this one's on 18 count and it's on pre-gridded fabric that the grids will wash out once it's finished. And the next one is Earth Goddess. You guys have seen this before if you follow me. It's a Joan Elliott. And I did work on her last year. And I won't be able to fit it all under here, but this is where I am. I have to finish the halo around her and do the beading and the left side of her where her dress is and everything. And this is the one where I had added in my own bunnies. Well, they're her bunnies, but I took them from a different pattern and put them in. This one is up for January WIPCO, so she's going to get worked on this month. This is really old, a really old pattern, Miracle of Every Single Day. This is the one that I'm not including the verse. I'm going to stop the pattern right above where the sun is and just make the strawberries go straight across. And I might not put the smiling on the sun. Anyway, it's a very cute, it's with bunnies and carrots. It's a very old magazine. And this is how far I got in just this one row with the bunnies. This is a Janlin kit, Janlin Autumn Sampler. And I only have like 2 stitches in it. I think it's because it must have been a Stitch Mania thing where you have like 30 starts in 30 days kind of thing. And it only has a couple stitches, so, but I still count it as a WIP. And then Gold Collection in Her Garden. Dimensions. This one, Dimensions Gold Collection Petites. You know, I never thought I was a big Dimensions person, but I guess I am because I have a bunch of their kits. So, and this one I haven't gotten very far either. Just a little bit of the dog's head. And Design Works, Penguins on Ice. This is that really long piece. And I think I did last year, I think I did do these 2 guys because that was my goal. I think it was to do 1 or 2 of these guys. So these are the newest ones, and then because I worked from the middle out, so I have all of these, but I still have quite a ways to go because this is the end of it. So a little more than half I think are done, but they're still cute. And another gold collection. This one is Fields of Lavender. And I just have a little bit done. I can't remember if this was a WIP Go one or not. This is from a really old cross-stitch book that I got out of the library, and I made copies of the pattern because that was before that was a thing. And the picture is very faint and you can't really tell, but it's Happy Easter pillow. And I still want to do it. And I got as far as the A and the P. And it has a lot of beads and stuff on it too. And another gold collection. I'm really surprised over all these gold collections. This is Gracious Era. And this one I had to start over because I messed up something on this man's body. I did something weird and I could never figure it out what I had done wrong, so I just started over again. And this one is Stitchingly Ever After, Barbara Anna Designs. Really cute. I really don't have that much more to go. Let's see. So there's the bottom, except for where it says Stitchingly Ever After. That's done in backstitch down there. But I really don't have that much more to go at the top. Let's see. From about where that birdhouse is, from about here on up. I probably should pull this out and try to get it finished. And this is on 28 count, I think, even weave. It's some unknown even weave. Gold Collection Petites Butterfly Vignette. Really pretty. I only have a few stitches, even though I tell myself every year I'm going to do this one. And there it sits. Another Gold Collection Parrot Tulips. This was a gift. And I only have a few stitches in it. I believe it was a Stitch Mania last year or the year before. Really pretty. And Not Dimensions, Drusilla Heirloom Collection. Touch of Gold. Now, I'm considering... I've only put a few stitches in it. I think it was for Stitch Mania too. And I'm considering buying the Heaven and Earth Design version of this because then I can use it in Pattern Keeper. And I know people have said, well, if you write to the company, they'll send you a PDF. But I want to make sure it's going to be compatible. So I know the Heaven and Earth Design version is a little bit different. It doesn't have backstitch. But I don't know, I'm thinking about it because I haven't gotten very far on this one, but I think it's really pretty. And Pattern Keeper does make your stitching a lot easier. This is Heaven and Earth Designs. Oh, I'll put what number it is, I can't remember. It's a Faces of Fairy, but it's the ornament version. And this should be done by now. And it's 25 count Lagana. But I have to frog it because I messed up. I did the wrong color in this one area. So as you can see, I started frogging it, but it's over 1, so it's a little daunting taking that all out. So probably that's why it's still sitting here not being worked on. And this is Joan Elliott kit. I'm considering it a WIP because I had started it and then I didn't like it on this fabric. It's just a 14 count Aida, and I'd rather use a hand dyed with like an even weave or something, or even maybe linen, because I just think it would look better. So I guess this would be considered a restart. And it's the name is, it's a kit, Design Works. What's it called? Oh, Golden Geisha, and it's a Joan Elliott. And I'll still use the floss and everything, but and the chart, but I'm going to swap the fabric out. This is RTO kit, Red Mermaid, and to me it's a very difficult piece to stitch on. I don't think it's necessarily that it's because of the navy fabric. It's on Ada. It's just, I don't know. I'll show you. I'm working on her hands, and they're very complicated for me, and I'm not really sure why. So it's not a piece that I pick up and think, oh, this will be a breeze or whatever. But I would like to work on her more. And Basila, this is a really old kit. You can still find the pattern though. I think you can find it as a download. The kit is Basila, and it's Honeybee Happening. And it's a Cooler Design studio. Yeah, that's where you can find it, on the Cooler Design website, because I have seen it there. Really cute. And I only have a couple of bees. And I only have part of the thing, but another gold collection. And this is Cozy Grove. Really cute. I only have a few stitches in this one. And then Lady Seated at Her Needlework. This is a Heaven and Earth design. I really like this one. And amazingly, I'm not bored with the brown. I would think I would be bored, but I've done some of the corner. I'm not sure if I showed this last year or if I worked on it. I can't remember. I think I did. It might have been a WIP Co. Sorry for all the threads. But I did not get bored. I thought, oh my god, all that brown. I think because working on the Fable guy, he's got a lot of brown, so maybe I'm used to it. But I enjoyed working on it. Okay, and Mill Hill Alphabet Treasures. I've had this one for years. This is the one that uses tons of their little, I don't know what you call them. They're not, well, I guess they're charms and buttons and stuff. And I don't have all of them. I have a lot of them, but I don't have all of them. It's a little dated. It's a little 80s. I don't know if you can see some of the motifs. So I was thinking of not using some of the little things that they have because I'm still stitching the alphabet part of it. But you can see, like this angel, it's not really my thing. And back when I started this, I thought, you're supposed to stitch it like it's shown. You can't do anything different. So I might frog her out because she's just not my thing. And there's a couple other things on here that I think would make it more my style. You know, less hearts and flowers. Well, flowers are okay. But less hearts and angels and that sort of thing. So I still like it though. It's intimidating me right now because I'm not sure what direction I want to take. And then this is Bunnies. This is a really old kit. And Needle Treasures Borderlines Bunny Hop. And there's only a few stitches. It was another Stitch Mania. But I still like it, and I still want to do it, so it's still a WIP. Now, there's probably one or two around that I just couldn't find in the house somewhere. But the only one left is Be Joyful, and that's on my stand, which I'll show you here. And that one is also a January WIP Go, so I'm working on that right now. So these are projects that I have ready to go. I just haven't started them yet. I have a bunch of Mill Hills, as you can see. I have a sheep egg. just, oh, it's a snowman stocking. This one is Love Halloween, really cute. Woodland Sleigh. Love. Festival of Trees. Now this one is a WIP. I have started this one, but I keep them all together. Moonstruck. Peekaboo. Kringle Wreath. And Snowman. And I also have some others, but they're kitted up separately that I'll be showing. This is Anchor's Maya collection, and this one is Yumi Zakura, I think is the name. She's beautiful. This one I've had for years and years and years, beating for needlework basics and beyond, and I always wanted to do this one that's on the cover. And I have it all kitted up. It's all kitted up right here. So you can hear the beads. I just haven't done it yet. Another one that's all kitted up is October, the Cricut collection. Really cute. This one is the Better Homes and Gardens Variegated Floss Sampler. You can also find it in their one or two of their books of cross-stitch patterns. And it uses the old variegated numbers, and they do it in a very strange way. I mean, you have to cut up the floss and use certain sections and this sort of thing. And these are all my notes about whether I could find those numbers or not, because they're very hard to come by, some of them. But I did manage to get them all. And here I've made a chart of it so I know which ones are which, and you're supposed to start with one end of it, and it's very interesting. And I'm in a Facebook group where people are working on this one, so I'm hoping that helps me when the time comes. I'm a little intimidated by it. And also I wanted to change the purple and the pink, because I'm not a pink girl, into turquoises and blues. So converting that too was challenging for me. And then this project, I've changed my mind a million times. Originally, I have these Mill Hill kits for Halloween. I have about 6 of them. This one is the Opera House. This one is the Haunted Mansion. And there's a few others. And they're 5 by 5. And I can't decide. I was trying to decide, do I want them all on one piece of fabric? Do I want them on separate ones and then frame them all together? I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. So right now, the decision is on this 28 count Dusk Lugana. Picture this plus fabric, which is a dark gray. And that's where I'm at, because I still can't decide if that's exactly what I want to do or not. And then I have kitted up Christmas dinner, and I can't find the original picture, so I'll put it up here. This is Santa in the forest, but I do have it kitted up with all the floss. I'd like to start that one at some point. And of course there's many more patterns that I have in a few kits that I haven't started, but that's all I have that I have actually had to pull, the floss for, so that's why they're considered kitted up. I have weeded out tons of WIPs, and so far I haven't regretted the ones that I've weeded out, because even though I know it's like, I mean, I have enough right now for a lifetime, plus I have others, plus I have tons of charts that I would like to do. So I was kind of ruthless and I weeded out a lot of things. I had some embroidery in there that I donated, and some other things I donated. So I'm happy with my choices. I'm noticing it's all these dimensions kits, and I guess I like them because they're highly detailed, along with the Heaven and Earth designs. Now there's a Heaven and Earth design material pack that's coming to me at some point. I don't know when. And there's a couple of ones I would like to start, but I'm really trying not to start any until I have a good way on the moon hair and also on Rapture, because I don't want to get pulled off of those when I'm in the mood to stitch full coverage. So those are my WIPs, and I hope to be back sooner. I think I said the same thing last year and I just didn't, but I have about 150 Flosstube videos in my queue to watch, and I'm hoping that if I sit down and watch a bunch of them, it'll inspire me to want to stitch more than I have been. Thanks for watching, and thanks for sitting through this for this long period of time, and I hope I see you soon.